West High kids, do you remember? First Assembly of God was going to the national competition for the music competition with that piece of music. Do you remember? It's been about almost 20 years ago. That's where I first heard about it, was from that First Assembly youth group that was competing. Wonderful piece by Mark Hayes. Every year, one of the things we do is bring these incredible pictures of the kids when they were little squirts. And then right next to the picture of them when they were little squirts is a picture of them now, which is just remarkable. Some of them will make you really, really crack up, by the way. Right here are the Rossi twins. Hysterical. Erica and Amber were saying, oh, we look like we're in our nightgowns. All right, very, very cute. Anyway, if you get a chance, come up and look at those pictures when we're finished with the concert. There are a few pieces in the world that probably express more for those of us who are involved in church work. The nature of life and the beast that is our work lives. I can't tell you what a pleasure it's been, what an incredible joy it has been all these years to have kids in my life. My doctor has worried greatly about the fact that I won't have them in my life, and stop, don't get it going on with it. And he's right. That's a difficult thing to think about in a couple of years. For a couple of years, I'm going to be a lazy bum, by the way. But in a couple of years, it's going to be very difficult to face. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound.
The sun.
They have no right to sound this good. Those of you who didn't get a chance to hear it, CMEA Festival this year, they were really quite phenomenal. I was very, very proud of them. Did a wonderful job. Yeah, having a little teary problems here, but I'll survive. Michelle Ernst, where are you? Thank you for the 1,000th time. Every decoration, every concert, Michelle has done this. She hasn't had a kid in the program for a number of years, but she just keeps doing it. It's really nice. He woke up. How you doing, little Steve Kerr? How about YY's grandpa? He's going, who is that there? Years and years ago, when I first started all of this stuff, by the way, the paper was wrong. It was 1970. I didn't go to U of M for my undergraduate work. I went to UOP. Pacific! Back in the day when they had a football team. Anyway, my very first principal was a guy named Don Murphy. I don't know that Don, I wish Don were here, but I'm sure he's not. He's probably, how old is Don? 82, 83 maybe. An incredible mentor for me as a young teacher. He put up with a lot of stuff. Saved my rear from being stupid on repeated. You know, you're just stupid when you're a young teacher and you just hope. And I had this incredible man named Don Murphy who saved my rear end more than once. Don went on to become the superintendent at one of the most difficult times in the history of the Kern High School District in the early 80s, when there was absolutely, it was probably one of the most thankless jobs in California, certainly in Kern County at that time. And I don't know whether Don Carter is here tonight, but he has been. Don, are you here? How are you, bud? Anyway. He would forgive me for doing this to you, Dr. Carter. I only have 11 days. You can't do anything to me. I have such admiration for the way Dr. Carter has handled this situation. This is an incredibly difficult time for our district. He has delivered the message with grace, delivered the message, and repeatedly said, staff, please don't shoot the messenger. And I just want to say thank you, sir. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I promised the family that I would not ever do that to Dr. Carter, but I just had to say that because now it's the last chance I have to do that. And finally, for all the years that all of you have sung, for all of you who have gone on into education, my ex-students who have gone on into education, thank you so much. And please, please hold the fort. It will not always be like this. I apologize to this generation and to young people who are coming for the fact that my generation has let you down. But I promise you, knowing these kids and working with these kids since I've been here these last 10 years, that we are going to be in good hands, and they're going to fix the mess that Iron Man Schwarzenegger and my generation have made. We thank you from the next generation for doing that for us. This is a song that they're going to sing at my funeral. I've always thought funerals were the dumbest things, and cemeteries were the biggest waste of land. Last summer, I got to see my family for the first time in probably 30 years. My mom passed away. She and I had not been close for a long, long time, but I thank her and am richly blessed by the fact that her passing got my siblings together. Isn't it awful? Shame on me. I saw my little brother for the first time in many, many years, my two sisters. And there was a young man in that picture of us. It's up here somewhere. Okay, it's in the back somewhere. Oh, I know. Of us on the beach up north. And the young man in the middle of that picture is a young guy named Tate Hill. When I first went to South High School, it was not a happy time in our history. There was a lot of racial strife. There was a lot of battles between white kids and black kids. And I always was proud of the fact that when the battles were going on campus, that all of my choir kids would run and hide in the choir room. Black, white, brown, they didn't know, they didn't care, they were all singers, so they just escaped to the choir room. And in that period of time, I had this one student who eventually became the president of the choir. His name was Tate Hill. And after every concert, being a young idiot that I was at the time, I just sort of took off and went home. And then one night I realized that Tate was walking home. And so I said, hey, Tate, let me take you home. He said, no, Mr. Mack, no way. And he just kept walking. And so, I didn't want to be too pushy. And so eventually I got him to let me to take him home. And he lived in a very, very impoverished situation. No windows in his house. His brother has been in and out of prison all of his life. His mother was raising 5 sons, if you can imagine that, by herself. Substance abuse was a very real part of the family. Tate graduated from South High School with honors. And during his senior year, I encouraged him to apply to a lot of colleges, even though I knew that it was going to be extremely difficult for him financially. And he decided he wanted to go to my alma mater. Well, UOP, for those of you who don't know, is one of the most expensive schools in California. And there was no way Tate could afford UOP. Well, he got a full scholarship. He became a divinity major, and for 4 years he lived with my family in Stockton. My little sister's 13 years younger than I am, and so she really never had a brother. And so Tate Hill ended up being her brother. Tate's about 6'4", he's black, and one of my favorite people on the planet, and he's my little sister's big brother. And I say all of that by way of letting you know that those South High kids, including Tate, taught me how to be a teacher. And those of you who are from South, I've told you this 1,000 times, but you must believe that there is no young teacher who starts teaching, becomes a teacher, becomes good at it, who doesn't have kids like you who teach them how to be teachers. So now, my funeral song. Go out with joy.